the top 100 video games of all time. However, the list was made by IGN. Oh, I can't wait to see what they've got cooking up, man. Oh.
IGN's top 100
God.
games list encompasses the best throughout history, spanning generations of consoles, PCs, handhelds, and more. Our list.
Okay, come on, let's get to it.
Of the
Here we go.
Hello, officer.
10? Wait, why 10? The article is the 100. The video is 10. Oh boy. Okay. All right. Well, we'll not spoil the top 10. We'll watch the video for it, okay? Top 100. Borderlands 2. Damn! At 100 is crazy. Divinity Original Sin 2. Final Fantasy 7. Assassin's Creed 4. Monkey Island. LeChuck's Revenge. What the hell is that? Burnout 3 Takedown, Fallout 2, League of Legends. League of Legends at 93. Deserved. Mega Man 3, Animal Crossing New Horizons, Thief 2, The Metal Age, SimCity 2000, Inside. Damn, okay, look, I'm not a League player, but putting it at 93 as opposed to some of these games that are down here is kind of crazy. Inside, Titanfall 2, Titanfall 2 at 87, that's going to upset a lot of people. 86, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, Monster Hunter World, Resident Evil 2 Remake, System Shock 2, Mortal Kombat 11, Persona 5 Royal, Dark Souls, Fortnite at 79. Look, I have an appreciation for all games, dude, but objectively, Fortnite deserves to be in a top 50 spot for all games of all time. It's held relevancy longer than literally any game has ever held relevancy without needing to re-release and being a free game. COD has had to release multiple titles to stay relevant. It could have just kept one, but they weren't brave enough to do that. And you have to pay for those games. Regardless of how much you might hate Fortnite, it deserves to be way higher than 79. Like, what the f? I already know I'm gonna be upset by this list as further we go down. Fable 2, GoldenEye 007, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate at 76. We are smoking on some big crack. Spelunky 2, Return of Obra Dinn, Dota 2, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Okay. Donkey Kong, I don't even think deserves to be on this list at all. I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah, it's a classic. It's iconic. But like Donkey Kong over Fortnite, League of Legends, Dota 2, Mario Kart 8, Super Smash Bros. GoldenEye objectively nowadays doesn't really hold up as much as it did back then, but still. The Sims 3, Splinter Cell Chaos Theory, Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island, Silent Hill 2, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, XCOM 2, Control, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Rise of the Tomb Raider, Batman Arkham City, Dishonored, The Witness, Journey, Uncharted 2 Among Thieves. You're telling me you put Overwatch over Dota 2, Smash Ultimate, Fortnite. What were we thinking? What? Apex Legends, Hollow Knight, Miss Pac-Man! What are we doing? Counter-Strike 1.6, Left 4 Dead 2, deserved, Earthbound deserved, Diablo 2, StarCraft, yeah, StarCraft deserves to be higher on the list, but does not deserve to be this low. World of Warcraft, yeah, deserves to be on there. Star Wars, Goats of the Old Republic, yeah, deserves to be on there. I don't think it deserves to be this high. Objectively, I love KOTOR. It does not deserve to be this high on the list. It deserves to be in like the 90s. Fallout New Vegas, yeah, makes sense. Final Fantasy 6, Pokemon, why Pokemon Yellow? Metroid Prime, Skyrim, okay, yeah, that's about where I would put Skyrim as well. Resident Evil 4, Shadow of the Colossus, yeah. Last of Us Part 2. As far as gameplay goes, sure. Story-wise, Red Dead, yeah, okay. Metal Gear Solid, okay. Civ 4, not my type of game, but I get it. Ocarina of Time at 34, sure. Depends on what you have lower. This would be in like a top 50 for me, yeah, for sure. Minecraft, yeah. Halo Combat Evolved, Half-Life, Final Fantasy, is this 14? Yeah, this is the online game, yeah? Yeah, MMORPG, Final Fantasy 14, Doom, is this the original Doom? Oh my god. Tetris, sure. I think Tetris you could argue like a top 10 game. It holds up even still. Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater, okay. Half-Life Alyx, sure. God of War, Chrono Trigger, Portal, Street Fighter 2, Super Mario Bros. Bloodborne, BioShock, The Last of Us, okay, yeah, Last of Us. I would put Last of Us also in like a top 20. Witcher 3, sure, yeah. Halo 2, Castlevania Symphony of the Night, interesting pick for this low. Hades, okay, sure. Grand Theft Auto, okay, I'm getting worried. Grand Theft Auto 5, not in top 10? I'm getting worried. I'm getting a little worried. Super Mario Bros. 3, and then now we transition to the video. Here we go for their top 10. Lock in. Disco Elysium, we knew that. For top 10 though?
There's nothing else quite like Disco Elysium. Here's the premise. A body has been discovered hanged from a looming tree in the backyard of a hostel, and it's up to you to work out how it got there over the course of Disco's mesmerizing 30-hour story.
I think like I could get it if I have played it or if I'd like seen any more, but this is like actually my first experience ever seeing this. Like art style looks cool, but if it's just like a role-playing game where you're like having conversations and stuff like that, I objectively don't think there's any RPG style game where you're going around and speaking to people in a style like this that deserves top 10 or even top 20. I take that back. Baldur's Gate 3 would deserve it, but this came out before Baldur's Gate 3. But yeah, I do agree actually, yeah.
Lieutenant, Precinct 57. You must be from the 41st.
Somehow, it manages to make all of this fun and, surprisingly often, funny. Disco Elysium quickly reveals itself to be more than a simple whodunit. Instead, it's a journey that will challenge you to solve crises on both profoundly personal and societal levels. A gorgeously designed isometric RPG that makes you think at every turn of its richly detailed streets, Disco Elysium is a truly unique experience. Disco Elysium is one of the most unique and memorable RPGs of all time, but
I think like that's fine, like being a memorable and visually distinct, type of RPG is fine. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it deserves a top 10 spot, unless narratively it's like a masterpiece, which I wouldn't know because I haven't played it. We're talking about games. You want to, like, I don't know, you want to kind of have fun with games, no? Like, this doesn't feel like it feels like an experience, doesn't feel like it's fun.
It's by no means the only one to hit our overall list. From JRPG landmarks like Final Fantasy VII to some of the best modern ones like Divinity Original Sin 2, which capture the essence of tabletop RPGs, role-playing games appear sporadically throughout IGN's Top 100. It's one of the most popular genres in gaming, with one of the longest-running lineages, and our picks hope to exemplify the very best of RPG. The same goes for our picks in another classic genre with a three-letter acronym that has seen more than its fair share of reinventions. First-person shooters.
Oh, number 9?
Rise and...
Yes, okay. I'm all right with that. That's fine. You can make an argument for that. I'm fine with that. I don't think it would be in my top 10, but I do think, yeah, I think you could 100% make the argument. Objectively, it's a top 10.
Mr. Freeman.
Half-Life 2 forever changed our expectations for what a first-person shooter could be. Its richly imagined world and wonderfully paced gameplay is a delight, never letting up and brimming with invention. The gravity gun is obviously the poster child, turning each environment into a tactile playground in which you can create improvised weapons and solve basic but clever
I think like the innovation that this game had as far as like physics and shit went, I think just the source engine in general was just like the discovery of fire when it came to games. You know what I mean? You know what's crazy is I actually agree with you entirely. No engine has had a good physics engine since then. I 100% agree. It's weird that Half-Life 2, Gmod, like that whole era of games has like this like super polished physics engine that is not found in like any other game. Like whenever you play Gmod, you're like, what the fuck? Like, why does this feel so fluid? You don't ever get that with anything else. It's weird.
Have been released since Valve's Half-Life 2, but there's a reason the world has continued to hope for a Half-Life 3, and it's not just the story cliffhangers.
It's not happening, buddy. I'm dude, I don't know how many years it's been, man. It's not, I don't know if it's happening, man. I don't think it's happening.
Episodic follow-ups left us with. But okay, they're a big reason why too. Half-Life 2 even more so than other revolutionary older.
I don't know, man. Like, okay, to be fair though, in the recent years, we have seen old ass titles get sequels just out of nowhere. Like, it's not like movies. People don't want new movies from the same old franchises. People want new games from the same old franchises, and I think video game studios are starting to figure that out. It's a different thing. Dude, Sparking Zero is a fantastic example of that. Sparking Zero is a continued version of the Budokai Tenkaichi series, and people ate it up. It was like a hugely popular game. It is still a hugely popular game, I should say.
Person games like System Shock 2 or Titanfall 2 captivated us with its world and combat design that worked hand in hand to give the players incredible agency. And speaking of player agency, a recent sequel changed the game for what we thought possible in breadth, depth, and detail of an open world rooted in.
All right, let's get on with it.
They're civilized.
GOAT! This is my #1 game of all time, and nothing comes close to it. It's like Red Dead 2, then like go down a mile, and then we have the second category. Like Red Dead 2, ridiculously good, man.
Ain't no such thing as civilized.
A sprawling western that stands shoulder to shoulder with Grand Theft Auto V as one of gaming's greatest open-world achievements, Red Dead Redemption 2 is a game of rare scope.
You know what's crazy is I'm looking at like this, I'm assuming trailer footage. The game looks better than this, which never happens. You see a trailer for a game and you're like, whoa, is the game gonna look like that? And you get into the game and it's like, nope, it doesn't look like that. This is the exact opposite, where it's like, you look at this and it's like, wow, that looks really good. You get in the game and you're like, what the fuck? This is even better. It's crazy.
Even rarer quality. A beautiful ode to an ugly era, RDR2 combines Rockstar's most authentic and lived-in open world ever.
Yeah, what
with
the
its most
dude?
earnest,
Why does this look so bad? What the hell?
Rockstar's most authentic and
Like, his
lived-in
face
open
isn't even
world
moving.
ever, with its most earnest storytelling to date, filling in the gaps with an astonishing array of deep systems and nearly endless.
This is not the Red Dead that I know, dude. The Red Dead that I know looks like 10 times better.
Emergent gameplay opportunities. Its slower pace allows us to binge on the world like a virtual museum. But when the lead starts flying, it puts the wild back in the West and then some.
Greatest game of all time. Easily. Damn O'Driscolls!
Few games manage the level of uncompromising detail as Red Dead Redemption 2 does. Do we need to discuss the horseballs again? We definitely don't.
The what? No, we do need to discuss that again. I don't know what you're talking about. What? The horse balls shrink in the cold? Do they? How did I not know that?
Our top 100 has some notable headwear throughout our many picks. And yes, we did just use hats as a segue. Sometimes hats functionally change the way we interact.
Super Mario Odyssey, but no Super Mario 64? Odd. Is he? Get it? I don't know if I'd put Odyssey in a top 10 of all time. I'd put Mario 64 in there because Mario 64 has like stood the test of time. He's explaining it's not the pick. He hasn't picked yet. My bad, IGN guy.
Only changed the game overall, but had some pretty stellar caps to boot.
My bad, IGN. My bad. This game is so goated.
Mario games are synonymous with fun and innovation.
This would be in
and
my
perhaps
top 10,
Mario 64
for sure.
is the best example of the latter. It gathered the core elements of Mario's best 2D side-scrolling adventures and worked out how to translate them into a groundbreaking 3D world. It was still recognizably Mario. He collected mushrooms and ran and jumped his way to success, but he was forever changed.
Yeah.
He could now long jump.
This game, I wasn't born at the time, but like when you look back, this was like a huge turning point. This game and Ocarina of Time were like the cornerstones for 3D games everywhere. Like not just Nintendo, but like everywhere.
Triple jump and backflip. While the underlying challenge remained the same and the locations were reassuringly familiar, the shift in perspective changed everything. What's even more impressive is that Mario did not simply enter a new dimension with ease, he did it with style that few games unburdened with such technical challenges ever achieved.
Exactly.
Mario 64 might now look a little blocky, but it remains bold and brilliant too.
It's still such a smooth game to play too. Every time I revisit this game, either to speedrun it or just to play it again, which is crazy that I even do that for a Nintendo 64 game. Like the fact that I boot this game up sometimes outside of like stream or whatever is crazy because it shouldn't be that way. There are modern Mario titles that I haven't even touched since I first bought them. This one I go back to so often. It's not even nostalgia. This game just plays stupidly well.
The next entry in our top 10 certainly checks all three boxes, but it's perhaps best known for the incredible way its developers tackled story and player choice.
Mass Effect 2. Interesting pick.
Where Mass Effect set the stage for a futuristic Milky Way, Mass Effect 2 let you explore and experience so much more of it. As Commander Shepard, we traveled the galaxy on the best recruitment
You
trip.
can make an argument for this in top 100 for sure. Top 10? I don't think so.
Experienced possibly one of the most heart-wrenching stories. But whether or not the game ends in tears is entirely up to you. As you head out for a suicide mission, you'll meet some of the best written characters that feel original and have the power to evoke
Was that
true
Kanye?
emotions. Written characters that feel original and have the power to evoke true emotions. Perhaps one of the best parts about earning the loyalty of each of the companions was discovering more about their respective species and seeing how they're surviving in a violent galaxy. Maximum loyalty from my companions in Mass Effect 2 was not an option. For my heart's own good, it was a requirement.
Okay.
Welcome aboard the New Normandy, Commander.
Mass Effect 2 mined the personal depths of its characters
Fair.
to
I mean,
incredible
all right.
success.
Like, okay.
TV, that's interact layer of twists, like the action blockbuster Uncharted 2 Among Thieves. That layer of interactivity and exploration is often given unique depth by almost every game
This is on their list already.
and sometimes literally, like exploring the beautiful bug-filled labyrinth of Hollow Knight's underworld. And speaking of venturing down into the dark recesses of an unknown world, the next game on our list is perhaps the standard bearer for just that type of adventure.
Number 5. What? Out of 100 games? And this is 5 on that list? Dog, come on. I'm not saying it's bad. Don't get me wrong. But
Super
top
Metroid's
5, dog?
minimalistic environmental storytelling set a bar way back in 1994 that we
I don't want to hear
believe
the explanation. Just get on with it. Just get on with
Metro
it.
Curiosity secret lies in the seeming. Super Metroid is an impeccable action platformer.
Gotta be
That's the
bait to
easy
put it at
part.
5?
What makes it truly special?
Why do I get the
is
feeling
its
that number
genius
1 is gonna
combination
piss me
of
off? Chat, what do you
puzzle-solving,
think number 1 is gonna be? Pong? They would do Pong. I could I could totally see them trying to be snide and be like, yeah, we wouldn't be here without Pong. It's like, dude, fuck off.
atmosphere, storytelling, exploration, game design, and gameplay.
Okay.
Our top one continue to provide on yellow much enduring fun and discovery. But
Oh, wait, no,
having
we saw this
Pikachu
already.
follow you around was a game changer for us. Or classic JRPGs like the last 2D Final Fantasy, FF6. That remains true.
The only
next
Pokemon
pick
title
in
that's on this list, I don't think they need more than one, but it being yellow is weird. It is actually weird. Like, why not just like Pokemon Red? That would have made more sense. But Yellow? Oh, we don't want to say Pokemon Red because, oh, everyone says that. We're going Pokemon Yellow. You know, we like that one more.
And though it's not the last time you'll see this franchise before the list is done, it's certainly one of the best examples of how Nintendo defined gaming for decades to follow, while making games that are still so fun to play to this day.
Legend. Not top 10. Not top 10. Not top 10. The fact that Ocarina of Time is all the way back there and you have Link to the Past here, not top 10.
The Legend of Zelda and the Adventure of Link laid the foundations for Link's quest, but it was a link to the past that built the land of Hyrule into a world. From its unforgettable beginnings guiding a swordless Link through the rain, to the final showdown with Ganon and utilizing mastery of sword and bow to defeat evil, Link to the Past measured out a perfect pace of dungeons, exploration,
They're sleeping on Minish
and a
Cap.
gripping narrative
I think
that
Minish Cap was like
almost
probably my
unheard of
favorite
at the
2D
time.
Zelda.
Its open landscape was always inviting but never felt aimless, striking the perfect balance of freedom and purpose in your quests to save Princess Zelda. This iteration of Hyrule was more than just moving between enemy-filled
I'm getting
screens.
really
It encompassed
worried that
everything
this
an
is gonna
immersive
piss me off,
experience
man.
should
Like,
be.
the
Vast
closer
open
we
worlds
get
that teased you
to the number one spot.
Unsurprisingly, Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time is one of several adventures.
This isn't
of
it.
Link,
They already showed
or
this.
Zelda for the confused, to make it to IGN's Top 100. And it's not the only series to be represented several times. Red Dead Redemption 1 is also on the list, in addition to its sequel cracking our top 10, while both Halo Combat Evolved and Halo 2
GTA
made
5
it
was on
into
here,
our
but I think
top
it was like in the
100.
30s or
The
something,
next
or like
entry in
I
our
can't remember
top
where it
10
was.
is a sequel whose predecessor is
The 20s or
found
30s.
a little lower on the list, but we'll explain why we think the follow-up
We had any Kingdom Hearts?
past both the first game and so many others to earn our number 3 spot.
Top 3. Portal 2. Not top 3, dude. What? I mean, yes, I think it deserves to be up there in top 10, top 20. Not top 3 games of all time. Top 10, I 100% can agree with you. And when you say Portal over Half-Life, I agree with you as well. I don't think it's top 3.
We've seen other games like Half-Life Alyx also push the boundaries of first-person adventures, while others like Doom cemented what first-person shooters could be. Our top 100 list is filled with defining games, whether they be redefinitions of existing franchises like 2018's God of War, or games that defined characters, genres, and companies like the original
really do think it's crazy that Fortnite was ranked as high as it was. This list was made in, I think, 2019, so Fortnite really wasn't pumping out like it has been in the 2020s. Fortnite was one of the breakthrough games that made gaming mainstream. Whether you like that or not, whether you want to gatekeep gaming, whether or not you don't think people who play Fortnite aren't real gamers, like that's a whole sentiment from fucking neckbeards. It pumped so many new people into the genre of gaming in general. You cannot deny that.
For Mario Brothers. And while Mario has already appeared once on this list, he's got one last spot to define as his own.
Number 2, Super Mario World. I agree. I can agree. I could put that at number 2. This is one of the best Mario games of all time. This style, this one is really good. I can safely agree with that.
Super Mario World is a relatively simple game to describe. It's a Super Mario game, and we all know what that means.
What is number 1?
Perfect running and jumping action, and
What
a
is
giant
number 1
world
about to
to
be?
explore, crammed with secrets. But what sets Super Mario World apart from other
I
2D Mario
swear,
games?
if it's Pong, I'm gonna be so mad.
Super Mario World is the crescendo to the slow build in technology and game design that started with Super Mario Brothers.
The
And that
anticipation is killing me.
featured a cool simulated 90s slap bass track.
That soundtrack, though.
It's worth noting that Super Mario World topped our top 100 list for many years, only to be supplanted in this latest iteration. We previously noted that for a game to overtake Super Mario World, it would have to be, quote, puzzling but not opaque, tough but not intimidating,
All this just to say Pong.
Beautiful, funny, joyful, and universally recognizable.
Breath of the Wild wasn't on this list. Is that gonna be number one?
Like Super Mario
no!
World, our number one game is all of those things. And perhaps what it does best of all is create a world so encouraging of exploration, experimentation, and discovery that it has changed the way we thought about games ever since its release. More so than other classics on this list that similarly delivered on creating some of gaming's best worlds, like the Rapture of BioShock, Yharnam of Bloodborne, or the Continent of The Witcher 3, our last game in this countdown broke down the always climbable walls of what games can be, and let players out into the wild for a breath of fresh air that reconceptualized its franchise. And if you still couldn't get it after that heavy-handed pun, here comes IGN's number one game of all time.
Oh my god! Okay. Let me speak. Breath of the Wild is a generational game. You could make an argument for this being in top 10, even top 5. Like, how would you rank this higher than Red Dead 2? Like, objectively, I love Breath of the Wild. It's one of my favorite games that I've played in the last, 20 years. But I would not put it at my number one spot. It's up there. It's definitely up there. Dude, I just can't, oh my god, how?
The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild eschewed the semi-linear, borderline predictable path of the 3D Zelda games before it in favor of a bold, crazy new approach.
I think it was a huge risk for Nintendo to do this, and I'm really glad they did, and this game is amazing. But I think when it comes down to open world and what can really happen, Red Dead 2 is objectively the best game of all time. I got Red Dead 2 never played the campaign until 2024, until last year. I played probably 250 hours of just online. And in the online experience that is completely shafted by Rockstar, I had already put it in my number one spot. Already had it cemented at my number one spot, and then I played the campaign. Any idea of another game coming anywhere close to it was just completely blown out of the water. It is so good. One of the things too with Breath of the Wild is that the combat gets very repetitive. Oh shit, okay, here's the bats. Oh shit, here's the guys with the big stick. It kind of got annoying near the end how little variety there was.
The result is a gorgeous, freeing open-world action-adventure experience that evokes the wonder and fear of exploring a bold new place with the empowering tangibility of becoming its hero. And that's our list.
Do not get me wrong. Breath of the Wild is one of the best games I've played in my lifetime. But objectively, the amount of different story beats that are in Red Dead, the amount of different gameplay mechanics they put you through in the campaign, it's unmatched. There is so much you can do in this game. There's a lot you can do in Breath of the Wild as well. But I feel like the reason why they put Breath of the Wild into their number one spot was because objectively, it's a Nintendo game. It's a safe pick. You know, the GameStop Guardians are gonna love it. It's too easy of a pick. But when we're talking about all gaming encompassed, this game is beautiful. It plays smoothly. It has a rich story. The online experience is amazing. There's very little you could complain about with this game. If you put a gun to my head and said, Rhett, you need to name a flaw with Red Dead, pull the trigger. Actually, I am a cynical bastard. You guys know me. I love pointing out flaws in the media that I consume. When it comes to this, I can't. I literally can't. Can't pet cats, but you can pet the dogs. This is IGN's top 100 video games of all time. Let me know what you guys think. I think it was kind of boo-boo, but that's just me, man. That's just me.